if Mansfield can get an early goal, that could potentially put them in the driving seat, league position aside.
Let go of the brittle, 'cause you'll find life is a riddle that we're not meant to understand.
Hi guys, how's it going and welcome back to another match preview. Today's match preview is going to be covering all the in-depth info on Cheltenham's home clash versus Mansfield Town. We'll be going over both sides' league position, previous results, players to watch, and also Mansfield Town fans' views going into this game as well. Let's try and smash 15 likes in this video, I'd appreciate that. Make sure you go and follow all my socials, Instagram, Twitter, that'll all be on the screen throughout this intro. Also, if you do enjoy the content and you're new, feel free to subscribe. We're on the road to 500. Absolutely crazy. So yeah, feel free to come and help me hit that goal. And yeah, once again, thank you for all the support of late. And without further ado, let's get into the video. So to start off with, the game takes place on Saturday the 24th of October at Whaddon Road. As always, the game can be viewed on iFollow, with season ticket holders receiving a free code via email. Once again, as always, to be able to watch the game. If you aren't a season ticket holder, don't worry, you can still view the game for a fee of £10. It's always been the same, just got to remind you, in case, any of you are new and do want to watch the game without knowing. And yeah, with all that said, let's get into the in-depth stats. So to start off with, we'll be going over all the in-depth stats on our opponents, Mansfield. They've had a very poor start to the season, sitting in 22nd place in the league on a very disappointing 4 points. The Stags have still not picked up a single competitive win across all competitions so far this season, and many Mansfield fans are calling on manager Graham Coughlin to be sacked as a result of that. I know for a fact that I know a couple of Mansfield fans that are absolutely astonished that they haven't sacked him yet. They've hit a poor run of form in the last year or so. They've already gone downhill, and just for the sake of the fans, I think he needs to be sacked. Looking at their results and all that, I do think it's time for him to be sacked, in all fairness. The Stags have a poor average of 0.9 goals per game, which is well below many other sides in the league, and a poor -4 goal difference, with an okay 6 goals scored but 10 conceded. So they don't weight each other up very well, and whenever you're conceding more than you're scoring, that's always a bad sign in the first place. It's clear to see that they've struggled in the final third in majority of their games, and that there's a lack of belief within the squad. They haven't won a game yet. They've drawn a couple, maybe that you could say they did deserve to manage, maybe snatch a result out of. But I'd say the main one that was really poor for them was the Bradford game. That's them losing 3-1. Obviously, their goalkeeper scoring an own goal. That was a very poor result for them. And Bradford, I was watching the highlights. In all fairness, they didn't actually play that well. There was a few. They did score some decent goals, but it was nothing special. So I can see why many Mansfield fans are angry that their manager hasn't been sacked yet. However, every manager deserves a second chance, but I feel like if they can't get a result, maybe in the next 2 games, and maybe even lose both of them, I will be very, very surprised if he's still in the job in a week to 2 weeks' time. So moving on to us, we sit 3rd place in the league on 15 points. We've had another impressive start to this year's campaign. However, there's still plenty to improve on in terms of consistency. We have a decent goal difference of 7, which is the second best in the whole league, to be fair, behind Cambridge's unbelievable 14. Obviously, 2 5-0 wins coming against Morecambe and Scunthorpe. Unbelievable Cambridge have been so far. But again, even Cambridge have been slightly inconsistent with 0-0 draw against Exeter. It's going to be close this year, and not every side is going to pick up points from every game. So it's going to come down this season, in my opinion, to who's going to be consistent enough in terms of results during tough periods. A recent 1-0 win against Scunthorpe on Tuesday night was far from pretty, let's be honest, with us failing to finish a chance from open play the whole game. Obviously, our goal coming in the 5th minute from a Ruben Reid penalty was very well taken from him. However, we had plenty of chances. I think it was something like we had 7 or 8 corners in the end, and we didn't really threaten from them, to be honest. And I feel like that's always been an issue over the past 2 seasons with us. last season and so far this season, is that we're not taking enough chances. We're creating so many chances, and that's why we're winning games, is because the amount of chances we're creating. However, if we could be clinical for a couple more of those, we'd be absolutely smashing everyone. And I think that's what sets us aside at the moment, to being in third place, to being in first place. However, we did get the win, and that's a big 3 points for us, but it should have been more than 1-0. But yeah, if there's any way that Mansfield can come away with something from this game, it'll be them being more clinical than us on the counter-attack, or even them just dominating in terms of possession, because, again, if we're not clinical, there's a high chance that we could, lose this game. But yeah, let's move on to the players to watch. So, in my opinion, our player to watch is either going to be Ruben Reid or Andy Williams. Now, obviously, it depends on who starts. However, that's not to say that both of them won't start, because, they could start together, because obviously George Lloyd suffering a very poor challenge from the Scunthorpe defender on Tuesday night, being stretchered off. I think it was a concussion in the end. I can't quite remember, actually, off the top of my head. I was seeing it on Twitter and I can't remember. Now it comes to filming the video. But yeah, they could both start. However, obviously Alfie May's there, Alex Aldo's there. We've got plenty of depth in terms of the attacking positions. But to be honest, at the moment, in terms of form, I'd definitely say that them two should both start up top together. But they'll definitely be the players to watch. They've both been, probably some of our best players. Maybe, other than maybe Charlie Ragland, Finn Azaz maybe. Or even Matty Blair or Chris Hussey, because they've been very underrated this season so far. They've been brilliant for us. I can't see this game being any different for them, to be honest. They've been class so far, and I just can't see that being any different going into this one, like I just said. I've gone for Andy Cook for Mansfield's player to watch in this one. He gives 100% effort for the squad in most games. However, obviously, I've been talking to some other fans and they've said that, he's probably one of the only ones that actually does, really put the effort in for the rest of the squad. He's picked up 2 league goals so far for the Stags. And I think if anyone's going to score, he's got a high chance of being one of them that pops up tomorrow. So now moving on, let's hear a Mansfield fan's perspective going into this fixture.
Well, my thoughts going into the game between Cheltenham and Mansfield. A bit nervy. We drew Morecambe in midweek 1-1. Of course, we ain't got our captain Mal Benning. It's going to be... I think there's only one winner in this, to be fair. Even as a Stags fan, I can't see us getting anything out of the game. I think Cheltenham, they've played very well this season, to be fair. I think they'll be up there again this season. I don't know where we will finish right now. We could finish anywhere in that league table, and I won't be surprised. So I just hope the lads actually can perform and turn up. It was better against Morecambe. Still needs to be improved, but it's definitely, once again, it feels like it's make or break for Coughlin. I think score prediction for the game, I think it'll be 2-0 Cheltenham. I think Ruben Reid will probably score 2 goals. Ruben Reid always turns up against us. It's just Ruben Reid, isn't he? He's an absolute quality striker. But even if we lose, I just want us to turn up. I don't want Cheltenham to be all over us, which I think is going to be the case. I think Cheltenham are going to absolutely annihilate us. And yeah, good luck to Cheltenham though in the game. You probably will win. It'll be a good 3 points, but I think if we can get the first goal, so it feels like Cheltenham, whenever they conceded in the first goal, I don't think they've won or picked up a point at all. So if we can get the first goal, hopefully Cheltenham heads can drop a little bit and we can just motivate ourselves that we can actually win this game and get our first win of the season on the board, our first 3 points. But like I say, I think it'll be 2-0 Cheltenham. We've been in poor form. We haven't won a game in 7 now. It's just whether or not will we turn up on the day and we'll be good enough to get anything out of Cheltenham game. But like I say, good luck to Cheltenham and let's make it a good game.
So my thoughts going into this one, I'm quite confident. However, I am slightly worried, to be honest, that if Mansfield can grab, an early opening goal, that could completely change both sides' aspects and sort of play styles for the rest of the game, because as a whole, really, because, as I say, we tend to when we go 1-0 down, we really struggle to sort of get back on our feet and try and regain a lead. And when we make a comeback, boy, do we make a comeback. But, you know, if I'm being honest, we do rarely make decent comebacks nowadays, especially so far this season. And I feel like if Mansfield can get an early goal, that could potentially put them in the driving seat, league position aside and form aside. That could put them in the driving seat for the rest of the game. My score prediction for this one, though, is 3-1 to Cheltenham, with Hussey, Blair and Reed scoring the goals. Some people might be a bit shocked at that. Obviously, both the fullbacks getting goals. However, I feel like, you know, Hussey I'm more confident in, but Blair's had chances, and Reed, yeah, he's just a class player, isn't he? But yeah, to be honest, as I was saying, you know, it could be a bit worrying if they get the first goal, but I think if we can play like we did, for example, in the Southend game, in the Tranmere game, you know, this should be, I'm not going to say an easy game, because Mansfield could shock us just like Grimsby did. However, it's one that we should be winning based on league position and form. However, that's nothing taken away from Mansfield, because they do have the potential there. They do have a decent little squad. However, obviously, the belief doesn't seem to be there so far. Obviously, that could change for this one. But based on previous results and everything, that is how I think the game is going to pan out. So, make sure you all go down and comment your score predictions down below. I'll also leave the link to the Mansfield fans Twitch and YouTube as well. He does social media and stuff like that himself. So feel free to go and show him some love over on his channel. He also does Twitch streams just like me. And yeah, thank you very much for watching. As always, thank you for all the support. Like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.